Hey everyone, Romel here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Alienware AW3821DW. This is a 38-inch ultrawide monitor that has an IPS panel with a resolution of 3840 by 1600 and a 144 Hz refresh rate. This is my main monitor, so I needed those specs to be able to do everything that I need to with a monitor, which includes programming, gaming, content creation, and sim racing. This monitor does retail for about $24.50 Canadian, which is definitely on the pricier side, but you'll find it on sale most of the time for around $13.99 to $14.99, and you might find some coupons and rebates on top of that. For me, I paid about $14.50 Canadian all in, and at that price, it wasn't much more than the higher end 34-inch monitors that I was looking at as well. And at the 38-inch size with an IPS panel and a fast refresh rate, you don't really have too many options. You have this, and you also have the LGs. I'll have some links in the description below, and as always, if you guys use those links, it really does help out the channel. Anyways, let's get to the unboxing.
So I've been editing this video for a little while now and wanted to preface the rest of it and let you know that it's more of about my experiences using the AW3821DW and going ultrawide rather than a full technical deep dive of the specs. So hopefully that helps you out, and if you want to see how I use this monitor, stick around, and yeah, let's get back to it.
The unboxing experience is really straightforward and relatively easy. You have these tabs on the side of the monitors rather than just tape. It reminds me of opening up a new box, and you have to remove all four corners to get the box open. The first thing you get when you open the box is the stand, which comes in two parts, as well as the box that holds all of the accessories. You have the cover for the back of the monitor, and you get pretty much every cable that you might need, which are the power cable, HDMI, mini HDMI, DisplayPort, and the USB cable. Underneath this is the monitor. The setup happens before you even take the monitor out of the box. The instructions have you putting the stand together and using that stand to basically get the monitor out of the box. The only thing left for you to do is plug the power in, as well as the video cable of your choice from your computer to the monitor. I'm using the DisplayPort for my PC, and I use the HDMI for my laptops. I'm also not gonna touch too much on the stand because I'm not going to be using that. I'll be using a monitor arm with this monitor, and it's going to be the Ergotron HX. I really wanted a monitor arm to be able to support this monitor, especially for how I'm going to use it. I originally wasn't intending on getting an ultrawide right away. I really wanted to see what the 27 inches would be like in the space, and at the time I really only played competitive shooters, so 16:9 is good enough for me. But with this rig and with the sim racing, I knew eventually I'd have to get an ultrawide monitor. And I was really inspired by Sampak's video. If you guys haven't seen that, I'll have that in the description below. But he had a 49-inch monitor on a monitor arm that he would move around depending on what he would do, which gave him the flexibility to really position his monitors while he was streaming, making keyboards, or like playing competitive shooters. And I wanted to try something like that with the setup so that I could use an ultrawide monitor for sim racing as well as everything else. I felt like if I got a ultrawide monitor just for sim racing, I really wouldn't make the most out of it. There aren't really a lot of monitors out there that fit the bill for what I need. I like using an IPS panel for programming, staring at code all day, and then content creation with the color accuracy, and then I needed the fast refresh rate for competitive shooters like Valorant, CSGO, and I needed the ultrawide screen real estate for sim racing and yeah, content creation. There's pretty much only this panel, the LG panel, in this monitor, and then there's also the LG monitors that use the same panel, and those are priced quite high. You're looking at around $29.99 or $24.50 for this monitor retail price. And like I said in my intro, I really only got this monitor because it was on sale, and it was around the same price as a 34-inch monitor. If I was to buy it at full price, I probably would have reconsidered, because I probably could have gotten two 34-inch ultrawide monitors, one for my setup and then one for my rig, and then kind of do that instead of spending $24.50 on on a single monitor. But because I can use it for both and it was only $14.50, I really decided to go this route. The Alienware AW3821DW features a nano IPS panel that has a resolution of 3840 by 1600 and a 21:9 aspect ratio. The refresh rate is 144 Hz with the DisplayPort and 120 with the HDMI. It also has G-Sync Ultimate and HDR. HDR is something that I don't personally use. I really don't see too much benefits of it for my use cases, but maybe in the future I'll take a deeper dive at it. But this review and sharing my experiences won't feature HDR. For programming and productivity, I found that the Ultrawide was a pretty good upgrade. I really enjoy being able to just use one monitor now when it comes to programming and debugging. My workflow previously was having two monitors and then I would maximize and minimize based off of the monitor that I'm on. But now I have my Chrome browser window on 1/3 of my Ultrawide and then my IDE on the other 2/3. I find that having it like this gives me enough screen real estate to be able to split my IDE to have two file browsers and then have a pretty good view on each file without having it to be too slim. And I feel like having this Ultrawide does give me a boost to my productivity, and I focus just on this screen now. For content creation, this monitor is also a huge upgrade. I like being able to edit my videos and see the whole entire, or not see the whole entire timeline, but see a lot of my timeline on a monitor. I can see and edit and scrub through my videos relatively easy, and having to do this on a 16:9 after an Ultrawide feels like such a downgrade. I'm really happy to be able to edit videos on this now, and the screen real estate is huge. The color accuracy of this monitor is also really great. According to RTings, it does hit 99.7 of the sRGB spectrum and 86.6 of the Adobe. Like I said before, I don't really use HDR, so I'm not too familiar with HDR on this monitor, but I've heard that it's not the greatest. There are other reviews out there that do touch on HDR, and I'll leave those in the description below if you want a little bit more details to that as well. Gaming on this monitor is a little bit of a 50-50 for me. I am still using a 2070 Super, so it definitely doesn't have enough juice to push this monitor to its potential. Like I said earlier, it is 3840 by 1600. That is a lot of pixels at a refresh rate of 144 Hz. I probably need something like a 3080 Ti or a 3090 to really make the most out of this. I only really play competitive shooters, so again, it's not too bad. I wanted a fast refresh rate because of the competitive shooters. I don't really like playing anything less than 144 Hz. Right now I'm just playing for fun, but trying to make the most out of 144 Hz. I do only use the middle of this monitor when I'm playing Valorant because of the competitive nature. They do lock you into that 16:9 aspect ratio, and for me that's not too bad. I thought the black bars on the side would get pretty annoying, but when I'm paying attention to the middle of the screen, I don't really notice the sides too much. I have played a little bit of Final Fantasy and Apex on this monitor as well, and it does look amazing because you can play at the full ultra-wide resolution. I really wish I could try other games, but right now I don't have too much time. I'm either playing competitive shooters like Valorant or CSGO or hopping into my rig. But hopefully in the future, I'll try a little bit more games and then see how it is on this monitor. But like I said, with the 2070 Super, I really can't push this monitor to its full potential. When I can, I do use G-Sync to make sure that the tearing isn't there. Without the G-Sync, my 2070 Super cannot sustain the constant 144 Hz that this monitor needs. So the main reason that I bought this monitor and I'm using this monitor is for sim racing. I really wanted to be able to have an ultra-wide monitor for sim racing because it just gives me a better field of view. Trying to sim race on a 27-inch 16:9 monitor definitely isn't the greatest experience. You can definitely do it, but to have the correct field of view while you're in the rig, it is really recommended to either go with a triple monitor or an ultra-wide. I decided to go with the ultra-wide, like I said, because I wanted to be able to use it for everything else and sim racing. The 38-inch is really great. I'm able to pull it pretty close while I'm sim racing, and I definitely do see a lot more in comparison to the 27-inch. I feel like I can see the apex a little bit better while I'm racing, and I can also see my mirrors a little clearer, so I know when people are approaching. It is good to be able to see that myself and to kind of judge corners a little bit better, as well as other people that I'm racing. As you can see, I do use this monitor for a lot of different things, and I kind of had to find a monitor that was able to do everything that I needed well enough. If I was just doing sim racing with this monitor, I don't think I would have gone with a 144 Hz IPS panel. I probably would have gone with a VA panel around the 34-inch, or even consider a triple monitor setup. But for programming, I would have been okay with a lower refresh rate, but then for the competitive shooters, I do need that 144 Hz. So this is one of the only monitors that checked off every single box that I needed for, like I said, programming, gaming, content creation, and sim racing. And if you're looking into the Alienware AW3821DW, make sure you have a card good enough to drive it. I am definitely not making the most out of this monitor with the 2070 Super and relying on G-Sync to really fill in the gaps for the tearing. I do really wish I had a 3080 Ti or a 3090 to push this monitor to its potential, but the monitor has been really great for everything that I've needed to do with it outside of gaming. It's really shown when I'm programming, making content, and especially sim racing. I would highly consider this monitor at the $1399 to $1499 Canadian price point, but at $2450, I would really reconsider my options. If you can get this monitor for a good deal, I'd definitely jump on it, but if you're paying full retail price, I'd probably take a look at something else and see what else you could probably fit in that budget. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys have any comments or questions about the AW3821W, feel free to leave them in the description below. I am pretty active on Discord, so hit me up there. I'll have a link to my Discord below, but feel free to DM me directly. I do have some more content planned with my setup. I'll do a full setup tour. I do also have the review of my sim racing rig. And yeah, if you guys want to see that content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I am finally streaming on Twitch again. You can catch me on twitch.tv/RomelDris. And I don't really have a fixed schedule at the moment. I'm trying to do Wednesdays and Saturdays, but for now, if you see me live, hop in, say hi, drop any questions there as well. And yeah, I will catch you guys on the next one.